In this video, I'm going to walk you through importing purchases using the standard one-off upload template. The credentials you will need to perform these functions in IT Asset Management is the default operator role or higher. Let's get started. From the data collection menu, I want you to navigate. I'm navigating to data imports. Since purchases are considered business data, I'm going to make sure I have the business data tab highlighted, and I am going to click one-off upload. You'll see there's 3 one-off uploads, one for purchase order upload, one for enterprise groups, and one for user assignments. We'll be working with the purchase order upload. When we walk through this, we see there are 3 options. There is a standard template. There is an option for IBM Passport Advantage, and there's an option for the Microsoft license statement. I do want to point out, if you are interested in using one of these 2 automated features, I would highly encourage you reviewing the requirements in the help section. So I'm going to navigate to help by clicking my help icon here, and it should take us to the business data tab section, and we could highlight purchase order upload, and we will get a full detail of each field, how that is formatted, and how that should be brought in with each one of those connections, including the one-off import template. And so this will give you a lot of details. Within Flexera One, one of the best features within Flexera One, if you navigate to the section of the tool that you have questions about or want a clearer understanding of what's going on in that view, you can simply navigate to where your questions are and hit the help icon, and it will take you right to that section of the help. We're going to talk a little bit about the standard upload. You would download a template. You can download either an XLS version of that template or a CSV version of that template here, and then you can populate that template based on the instructions I'll be going over, or based on what you see in the help to be able to bring those in. The IBM Passport Advantage would use a purchase order history from the IBM Passport site, and those directions for utilizing that would be in the help section. Same for Microsoft license statement. You would obtain a Microsoft license statement and follow the directions for that in the help. As a best practice, we generally use the standard one-off import template, which we would download by clicking XLS or CSV. I'm going to walk you through what that template would look like. I have one populated here. So let's take a look at that. So from a template perspective, you're going to have columns A through T. You should not have any more columns in there, so don't add columns to the template. Do not modify the order or the names of each column at the top. They must stay the way they are in the template. I'm going to walk through the fields real quick. There's your purchase order number and the purchase order line number. You can see I got different purchase orders represented, and so my line numbering changes. You can also leave the PO line number blank and let the system auto-numerate those based on the purchase order that you have entered there. So PO line number is optional. Description. Description would be the descriptor of the purchase that you are purchasing. This should be something that should be populated on all purchase lines. The date is the purchase date, and that should be populated on all purchase lines. The quantity should be populated on all purchase lines, the quantity per unit, and unit price should be populated if you have that. I do see licenses being created and purchases being brought in without unit prices. There are ways to represent that cost at the license level. And so this is an optional field to get you to a license from a purchase. SKU number, if you have that, you should populate a SKU number. You'll see where that can assist you in managing those purchases and building those licenses. Invoice number and invoice date, we saw that on the financial tab in the record. If you have those, you most certainly could populate those. The maintenance column, if the maintenance is yes, meaning that it has active maintenance or an active subscription, it should have text in this field. If it does not have active maintenance or an active subscription, you can just simply leave this blank. Any item that has maintenance set to yes, you should populate an effective date and an expiry date. If you have a contract in the system that these purchases need to be linked to, you can put that contract number in column N, and that will link as you import those up to those contracts, saving you the time of doing that. You want to populate a publisher and a vendor for each line, and you can also populate your enterprise group information such as location, cost center, and corporate unit. Keep in mind, this is one of those areas where you want to use that full path when you're doing an import to keep from having duplications of your structure within the system. Last but not least is the purchase order type. And so we want to make sure the purchase order type matches one of the ones that are in the system. If it does not, it would come in as not set. So that's a little bit about the one-off import template. Let's walk through how you would bring that into the system. I'm going to navigate by browsing to my student file here, and I am going to open that up. And so you would click upload. When you click upload, you will see a task load below. Below will show the last 5 tasks. You can go to System Task Manager and review any older tasks than the last 5. In this case, this is going to stay in an in-progress status until this screen is refreshed. I'm going to offer you a tip. What I've seen is that if you toggle the plus sign and the minus sign, you'll see that it will update statuses, and you'll see that our import is complete.